Welcome. It is once again Rumi time, and we're going to dive into a poem today that is in a section of Rumi's poems in this translation that I'm reading, this collection that I'm reading, centered around spring, which is very apropos to the time of the year that it is right now. The sun is shining, the buds on the trees have finally started to blossom, and all the little critters are back moving about, fighting and loving and eating and doing all those wonderful things. And so this one is called Where Everything is Music. Where Everything is Music. Don't worry about saving these songs. And if one of our instruments breaks, it doesn't matter. We have all fallen into the place where everything is music. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere, and everything, if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. The singing art is sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. Poems reach up like spindrift in the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we can't see. Stop the words now. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. This is a beautiful poem. One of my favorites, this relationship that we have as human beings to music, right? Whether that's music that we're creating, then there's the music of the birds, and then there's sort of the metaphorical or more metaphorical music of life, this flow. And I'm sure that you've experienced those times where it feels like you're in tune, right? That the notes are sort of playing around you in a way that's very nice and harmonious, and you're sort of playing your part along there. And that's sort of the goal, right? In a lot of ways of mysticism, when I talk about mysticism as really an art of surrendering, there's a surrender that has to happen in order to play your part of the song. Whether that's on a work crew doing a landscaping job, or whether that's leading ceremonies out in the desert, or working at your office job in your cubicle. Like, there is a beauty in all of those, right? When things are feeling aligned, when things are flowing, okay? And this metaphor of music is a great way to sort of check in with ourselves and say, okay, am I sort of out of tune right now, maybe? What notes am I playing? What notes am I contributing? Am I contributing to a more harmonious and a world that's more in flow with the natural music happening around me? Or am I kind of trying to force in my own voice? Am I trying to speed up the tempo of this song, or am I trying to slow it down, or am I trying to play a different song entirely than what's sort of unfolding around me? And so again, it's just sort of like a useful tool to think about. And there's a lot of deeper layers that we could start to dive into here with the, reasons why we connect with music in such a visceral and spiritual way from a very young age, right? But we don't need to get into all of that. I wanted to return back a little bit to Rumi's poem here. And the thing that he points to is like this hope in a lot of ways, right? That you can still hear the music even when things aren't seemingly going well, okay? He says that if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing, right? It'll be harder to hear them, right? But they'll still be there. And so what if the candle flickers and goes out? We can create a new flame. Okay. And I want to return also to this line that I repeated at the end, because It's awesome. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. And so this really ties into this idea of like being in flow, and how do we arrive at that state? Okay. How do we arrive at the state of being in flow, present to, harmonious with the world around us? Well, as mysticism tries to teach us, it's about going inward, but opening yourself up to the world around you. Leading with the heart, right? Opening your heart, this window in the center of your chest, and allowing spirit, or in this case, he says, the spirits, letting spirit, letting God, however you connect to something greater than yourself, kind of come in and out, right? When we close off that flow of energy, and we're not leading with the heart, and we're sort of constricted, it becomes very difficult to literally play music, right? If you're a musician and you've ever been part of a band or something like that, there's a little bit of a letting go, of a opening up that you have to do to the other members of the band, and you have to sort of open up to the music and allow it to flow through you, right? That if you're trying to be very rigid and control it all and control where it goes, you can develop a skill to be able to do that, but it's not going to have the same connection point with yourself, with your audience, with the other bandmates. Okay. And so we have to be a little bit vulnerable, right? And we have to do this courageous act of like opening up to the world around us. And I'm reminded back when I first kind of started getting into things like meditation and so forth, doing this heart meditation that was designed to focus on the heart and focus on this opening and allowing for this easier flow of energy to happen. And it was very difficult at first, but doing it day after day after day, suddenly I became aware of the ways in which I was more often in this state of flow and harmony, playing in this music and being aware of my role, like in this symphony that was happening all around me. I became aware of my ability to sort of connect in a genuine and authentic way with the people around me, whether it was the checkout girl at the grocery store, or a stranger passing by in the street, or an old friend. That flow, that music was happening, and I wasn't having to control it. I wasn't having to direct it and try to make it and force it to happen. It was just flowing. And once we become aware, and really that's what this is all about, right? That's what meditation's about. That's what mysticism is about. It's becoming aware of our special role and our special place within this beautiful symphony that's constantly happening around us. And sometimes it's really hard to see. Sometimes it's really hard to be aware of that. But it's there, as Rumi tells us in this poem, right? That it's there, even, and to stop and, celebrate that every now and then is a great way to call more of it into your life. So much love and blessings on you all.